Alright, so I start out by organizing the presentation of the data on the LCD screen. And I do that by simply ordering 1 second at a time. Each block will happen, and each block is to display each determined information on the LCD screen. Now, the real trick to this project is actually to be able to organize all the information from the different sensors in an easy, accessible way on the LCD screen. And this sketch is how I achieved that purpose. Now, you already seen the last two sketches where I enter already the libraries for the DHT and the liquid crystal. I already created the objects accordingly to the libraries, and then this is where I started with the interrupt function that is linked to the joystick button on the X, to which I attach the interrupt function to the joystick button over here. And this will allow me to, no matter at what point I am during the program, I can always come back to the main menu whenever I want to. And so we go into the loop, and what I do in the loop is I have a variable, which is the menu option variable over here. I started at 0, and every time I move the joystick of the y-axis, every time I move it either up or down, I will increment or decrement that variable. Now this will allow me to, before I say that, I obviously on these two if blocks I am making sure that the value of the menu option does never succeed or overpass the amount of sensors or menus that I have. If it does, it will return to 0. If it goes over 2, it goes to 0. If it goes below 0, it goes back to the maximum 2. Now each maximum will increase as the sensors increase in the project. Now we come inside this switch function over here, the switch block. And in this switch block is where I display on the monitor the option that I make according to how I move the joystick. Now, how do I do that? Over here, you see, I call the functions over here. Each case, each time I increment or decrement, each time I change the number of the menu option, each case will show a different function. And those functions are right over here. As you can see, I have for the DHT function, I have all the data sent to the screen. For the LDR or light dependent resistor, this is the function, and I send the data to the LCD screen. Now over here is where you'll see the interrupt function. Now all that happens here is that each time, you'll see over here, let me get up here. Each time I press the button or I press the joystick down, it activates a button on the joystick. Now it'll set the value from 0 to 1, or it'll be rising. And in this case, it will call the function right down here that you see down here. And when it calls this function, what it does is that it resets the menu option to 0. And what will happen is that as soon as it enters a loop, it will show the case 0, the menu option 0, and show me the menu function, which is the initial function right over here, which is simply the text you see, the message main menu. So this is a sketch.